Hello my friends and welcome back to the channel. It's Buck Small Engine DIY on YouTube. You know what season it is? It's hurricane season, and that means for the small engine guy, it's generator season. I got a generator here that won't start or run. Let's see if we can get it up and running. Are you ready? Well, stay tuned. Well, here it is. Here's our generator for today's project. It's a Coleman Powermate 5500. Looks like it'll put out 120 or 240 volts AC. I see over here on this side that it is powered by an 11 horsepower Tecumseh engine with plastic carburetor. I'm not really a fan of these carburetor setups, so we'll have to look into that. Features an oil shutdown. That's always something to keep in mind with a machine that's not running. I look over here and see that it's been outfitted with a fuel filter and a fuel shutoff valve, which don't look original to me, but were added later, and it's always a good idea. And a real long piece of hose, fuel line. It's got a plastic gas tank, which is, in my opinion, a very good thing because it's not going to corrode. I have no idea how old the gas is, and probably going to make my first step draining out the tank. It looks like the rubber on this fuel cap has deteriorated, which means a lot of those pieces may have fallen into the tank. I don't know. I'm probably going to drain the fuel because I don't trust it. And I'm going to start with clean fuel. We'll check the oil. I was told that this engine will run on starting fluid. We're going to have to verify that. If that is the case, then I'm going to say our diagnosis is nearly complete. If that's true, it's going to mean we're just going to need some carburetor work because it's not getting fuel through the carburetor. All right. Well, enough talk. Let's get going with some of these initial steps and we'll get ready to give this thing a test. All right, we're ready to give this a shot. I checked the oil. It's got oil. I went ahead and replaced that fuel filter. I thought that was a good idea no matter what happens. And I only was able to drain out a couple ounces of old fuel right there in that empty jug there. Just a couple of ounces is all I got out. I took off the air cleaner so that we could shoot some starting fluid directly into the carburetor if we decide to do that. But we're going to see what happens without that first. We'll slide it over to choke. Our switch is in the on position, so we should be ready to give this a try. Fuel valve is open, meaning fuel is able to run to the carburetor. I don't see anything leaking. Let's go up on a tripod and see what we get. That was actually more than I expected. Well, what you can see is it will start and it'll run, but it'll only run on choke. So we got restricted fuel flow through the carburetor main jet, and that means we're going to have to take it down and, if nothing else, at least give it a good cleaning because it's not getting sufficient fuel. It's only firing, it's only running with the choke plate closed. So it's yeah, so maybe it's just a little carburetor cleaning. We'll get right to that, but this is good news. It's ready. It wants to cooperate with us. I really think so. Okay, so here's our carburetor. I've turned off the flow of fuel with the valve, so that's helpful. we're gonna release this clamp. Probably get a little bit of fuel coming out of this line and also out of the carburetor when we remove the line. So I'm going to put this bucket here. Here we go. A little bit coming out there. Nothing coming out of the carburetor. So put that right there. Look, these are probably just two 10mm nuts that will take that off for us. What size did I grab? I grabbed 10mm. Maybe it's a 1/2 inch. Nope. 7/16. That's it. So this will take the air cleaner off for us. Just move it out to the side that way, or unplug this hose like that. All right, so here's our carburetor, throttle linkage, choke. So these things are moving okay. And when it was running, it actually sounded pretty good. The bowl on these is plastic and it's held on with this spring clip. All right, so I think what I want to do is I got to take out these posts. And these are a type of inverted Torx. So let me grab those and hopefully that will take these two bolts off for us. All right. Here's one, two. Looks like they had a little thread locker on there. Might have some fuel leaking out when we take the carburetor down and move it in strange places, you know, twisting it around to take off this linkage. So the linkage is all that remains. He comes out, and here's our carburetor. So we'll take it over to the bench and open it up and have a closer look. There's the carburetor, and I think I just want to take a minute to clean the outside of it with some carb cleaner and a toothbrush, old toothbrush. Let's do this real quick before we open it up. Alright, let's see how hard it is to open that up. Screwdriver. That's it. Alright. There's our float. Now it's black plastic, so that makes it hard to really see the condition in there, but it doesn't look too terribly dirty. This comes out. We'll want to clean him out, including these small holes. Alright, let's turn our attention to this guy. It's just a hollow tube, and not too, that's a fairly large passage. But it has some small holes on the side that I'll get a safety pin or something to poke through there. It's probably pretty hard to see, but I got a sharp pointy object here, and I'm just passing it through these holes in the main jet. Some of them are so small that this pin won't even go through it. And I also feel like I need to put on stronger glasses. Wow. Anyway, this is the process of cleaning out these jets. And if you need a smaller pin, find it. If you need stronger glasses, get them. But we're working through all those small holes and stuff. Alright, well, that was probably the most boring video footage of all time, but I'm ready to put this back together. And I've done enough poking and scraping and, not scraping, but cleaning and rinsing and blowing and oh boy. Here we go. Alright, that's it. I really didn't see a lot of dirt or crud in there. But you know, sometimes these things sit for a long time with old fuel in them and it turns to varnish, gums it up. That's why you got to clean those tiny little passages as best you can. We know the thing runs, it just needs to run a little better with increased fuel flow through that main jet. So hopefully we have accomplished that, and we're going to put it back up and give it another go. Alright, so hanging this up again, we're going to start by connecting the throttle linkage, like so. Our gasket on the intake pipe is good. Maybe could use another application of thread locker, but I'm not too worried about that. I've never seen that on carburetors. Alright, that's that. I'm going to clean this off real quick before we put it back up. It goes up easily. Plug that hose back in. And we grab our 7/16. All right, finally, we connect our fuel line. Oh boy, got a problem with this motor mount. You see, I just lifted the whole engine. Fuel line clamp. There we go. All right, let's fix that motor mount before we start it up, because I don't really want to run this thing. I don't want to run this thing with that loose like that. You see it right there? Bolt's broken. Or something. Something's not right there. All right. How about this side? That one seems okay. And the front, that seems okay. So we got 2 out of 3. See if we can improve on that. Because I don't like that broken motor mount. Alright, so this is a 1/2 inch. I'll see if we can get him off. And I think it's a 1/2 inch underneath too. So the nuts come off, but I don't know about the fall. There's that. There we go. Alright, so I took off both of these motor mounts, and it's strange. Like, it's a 2-piece, but they're connected at this rubber post between my 2 fingers. But what connects them? Is it just glue? Just glue holding those together? And the glue has come undone on this one? Is that all it is? The 2 pieces are just glued together with the rubber? I mean, that's just weird. It doesn't seem very strong to me, and I guess it does feel like there's some kind of rubbery adhesive here. Should I just glue it again? That's just so weird. That to me doesn't seem very secure. I can understand having the rubber to absorb vibration, but would it not have a post or something that goes through it? I mean, it's either that, or just try to drill through here and through here, bolt it together in some fashion. Okay, we're back. So I did some poking around online and found the part number for these motor mounts from replacement parts or some such site. But of course, it's an obsolete, discontinued part, and then I never really found it anywhere on Amazon or eBay. All right, let me show you what I did for this broken motor mount. I simply drilled through both plates, the upper plate and the lower plate, and passed a 1/4-20 bolt through there, washer, lock washer, nut. And that should be fine. It's as good as it was, and was a no-cost repair. So that's gonna put this engine on here a little more securely, don't you think? All right, that's great. All right, let's test this guy out. After cleaning out the carburetor, open the fuel valve so fuel will flow. Still have the air filter off, that's okay. Off, on. We'll choke it, and let's see what happens. started very easily. I had it on choke, immediately put it to full run, and it ran great. So that's pretty nice. That's very, very nice. I could put the air filter back on. Well, what's a generator if it's not generating? So we really need to start it up and see if we got power on our output board, because that's what it's all about, right? So let's do that next. Alright, you might not have been able to see what I was doing exactly, but using my multimeter, it's getting readings out of those receptacles, and it was reading a little too high, I'm afraid. I feel like the engine's running a little too fast, because we were getting like 135 out of those. I'm not sure how to use this one, but I feel like it's running just a little too fast, and maybe I can adjust the speed on it somehow, because I think 135 is a little too high for your household current. Alright, so here we are looking at the machine a little more closely to adjust the the engine speed. And right here we have an adjustment right here, this nut on this post. And this post is connected to a spring back there. Maybe you can't see it. And the tighter you make that, the more tension you put on that spring, the faster the engine's going to run. So I'm thinking that if we back this off a little bit, and the thing about it is I can't really tell, the nut on here doesn't look original to me, so maybe someone's messed with this before. But 135 volts is too much, so I'm going to back this off and we're going to try it again. And we're going to shoot for like 115 volts. Alright, let's fire it up and see what that does. Alright, so with that, I think we adjusted the engine speed adequately. It was down to 120, 121, which is fine. I think that's good. I don't want it to run too slowly, but you need you need the voltage to be, you know, between 110 and 120. So we had a 120, 121, and we'll be okay with that. And that's going to be it for this guy. Really wasn't that much, wasn't too terribly involved. But it's nice to have it running, starting easily, running well, putting out the right voltage. That's it for today's video. Not much of a challenging project. We got it going without any hiccups along the way, and we took care of what needed to be taken care of. So yeah, it only ran on chokes, so that's just a carburetor issue, a fuel flow problem. And you know, when a machine sits for a long time without use, as happens often with these generators, and they don't want to start, sometimes leaving old gas in it kind of gums it up, and a little cleaning, and it's back in business running as it should. We adjusted the engine speed a little bit because it was just a little too fast, putting out too much voltage. I think that's back in order. This machine's been taken care of, I think, over the years. It's from 2003, so it's 21 years old. Maybe it's 2002. So a little over 20 years. The tires hold air. I think somebody put inner tubes in them at one point. The air filter looked relatively new and clean. So I feel like this has been taken care of over the years. Just needed a little carburetor cleaning after sitting for a few years. Very normal. All right, thanks for watching, and good luck with you and with your generator repair projects. And hit me up in the comments if you got thoughts or questions. I always appreciate hearing from you. And remember, guys, as I always like to say, only you can put the do into do-it-yourself. Bye.